Hola, buenas, welcome to Clear Vision. My name is Simon and all the videos here are based on my experience as a psychotherapist. Please, as always, please like and subscribe and leave any messages and comments in the comment section below. Anything else you'd like to know or maybe I could do a video on, just leave a suggestion. This week I wanted to talk about relationships again, and in particular repeating patterns and repeatedly trying to get the same thing from someone or different partners as you go through your life, and why this is not working, possibly. And I'm going to tie it in with the Oedipal complex as well, which is something that Freud talked about, and I know Freud's been relegated to the kind of history section now, but some of his stuff is still quite relevant. So to begin, a lot of people, I'm going to also use some attachment, so it's going to be kind of psychodynamic based, but to try to make sense of it all. So to begin, a lot of us find ourselves in relationships where we are trying to, we go on about getting our needs met. Whilst that's great for the here and now, so we're in a relationship, we're going to go, right, okay, I want my needs met. These are my needs. This is what I need from you as a partner. This is what I need from a relationship, and I'm trying to get it. Chances are, for a lot of us, we're not getting it unless we've managed to find someone who's willing to work with us on themselves and ourselves and elevating the relationship, taking it to a new height and new depths as well. The key is that whilst we are busy looking for something, what we don't often realize is it's actually what we're looking for is actually what we didn't get. And that's the paradox. What we did get, what we did receive as children, and in terms of attachment with mother figure, the mother or mother figure, what we did get is not a can be a problem, but is not what we're searching for. If we got, say, for instance, ambiguous connection with our mother, we will find that quite easily with another partner. We will find often we tend to search out, and this is where I'm going to go with the Oedipal stuff in a bit, Oedipal or Electra, it depends which way you want to flip it. So we will search out that which is familiar without really realizing we're doing it. Sometimes we go the other way and we go for almost the complete opposite, or the complete opposite, in which case we're trying to solve the problem by going for something completely different, which, as a theory, in terms of trying to solve a problem, makes quite a bit of sense. Doesn't always work, normally because we go for the complete opposite, and the two amalgamated together, the two things, that what we got and what we want, what we need, what we didn't get that we needed, when they're all brought together in the same person, then things then tend to start to flow and to work. If we go, okay, well, we got that, so we're not looking for that, we're looking for this because that's what we didn't get, so we're looking for this over here, so we're going to do the complete opposite, then we lack this, so then it doesn't work. So the key to unlocking some of these kind of repeating dysfunctional patterns and ending up with the same results is we are looking for what we didn't get. Hopefully, for many of us, some of our needs were met. There are, of course, many people out there whose none of their needs were met, and that's a whole other story. But most of us had some needs met at some point, more or less, not always brilliant, but you know, we got our needs met, some of them. So we go now we unconsciously seek that out. So we unconsciously seek someone who is the same as our attachment figures. Then we try to solve the problem by getting that same person to then give us the things that we didn't get, which are the things that we are in fact needing and looking for. Like I said earlier, the one way some of us try to solve it is by going for the complete opposite to what we had as an attachment figure in childhood. We go for the complete opposite and it doesn't work because we don't get the full picture, we don't get the full integration. And you can look at this in terms of like Jungian projection of anima, animus, persona and shadow, and you can look at this in terms of Freudian Oedipal complex, and you can also, or the Electra complex, Or you can look at this in terms of attachment styles. And of course you can go as far as object relations and a few other things as well. I'm going to try and simplify this and keep it down to the Oedipal complex. What's the Oedipal complex? In short, the Oedipal complex is where a child falls in love with the opposite sex parent. A son falls in love with his mother, a daughter falls in love with father. This is then becomes a problem to solve for the roughly around 3 years old, for a 3-year-old to solve. I can't, let's stick with the sons and mothers. I can't have my mother like my father does because my father's in the way, which is where Freud said castration anxiety would come in. So with an inferiority, so like, I'm inferior to him because he's bigger, tougher, stronger, faster, and I'm just a boy. He will castrate me metaphorically, so I can't have mother, but I came from mother. So there's this desire to go back because you were once one. And Electra can go the other way, it's daughters and fathers, for the benefits of simplicity. So you have like Oedipal victories and Oedipal kind of like failures, if you like. So, you know, the child can have an Oedipal victory, it can have its opposite sex parent's attention for a while, and then it's bedtime and they've got to go. Or then the same sex parent comes in and then gets the affections of, so for this, dad comes in, gets affections of mum, or mum comes in and gets affections from dad, creating this kind of, according to Freud, this kind of jealousy, building up this energy. There's this kind of, I want this, but I can't have it, so I'm going to act out, etc., etc. In short, the way the infant solves the complex, the problem at the time, is eventually to get into, when they get into school and peer groups and education, and all of that energy is diverted into learning and social groups and learning to become. What happens then as we move into adolescent years is the complex comes back and we need to solve it. Only this time we're not desiring our mother because that relationship has developed into exactly what it should be. Hopefully fathers and daughters the same, unless it's incestual, and then it's a huge traumatic mess, and that's a whole other video or several videos. But for the purposes of this, let's keep it simple. So now adolescent, young adult is out in the world and unconsciously seeks out somebody, a female or a male, who is very, very similar to their opposite sex parent, thereby solving the problem on an unconscious level. Now, the other way you could look at this, if you are rolling your eyes and going, oh, Freud, if you are rolling your eyes, is actually what you're looking for is someone who is familiar to you. So your parents gave you love. Those are your blueprints for love. Whether that love was twisted, distorted, ambiguous, correct, secure, whatever, doesn't matter. That's your blueprint. That's what you're going to look for until you have a few dysfunctional relationships and you want to change things and change it up and do some self-work. Unfortunately, it always boils back to self. So you go looking for someone who's similar to your mother or your father, and that's that kind of love that they offer is familiar on an unconscious level, and you've unconsciously done it. We're attracted to them that way. What then happens is, and Freud would spin it, that you then try to solve the complex by getting them to give you exactly what that opposite sex parent didn't. So every time you make love with them, that's an Oedipal victory. Every time they give you this unconditional love, it's an Oedipal victory. If they were rejecting and this one person is all embracing, then that's an Oedipal victory, which is why sometimes we try to solve the problem if we had dysfunctional parents and this erratic kind of love given to us. We then look out for the opposite, that to solve the problem, but that is then in opposition and doesn't contain all the shades of the relationship that we're looking for and the things that we want and need. That just contains one side of it, if you think of it like a yin yang. So it solves it to a point, but it's not a full solution. In terms of attachment styles, it's the same. It's like we seek out the same and then we try to get them to change by giving us the things that we didn't get. So it's not about, and like I say, like this video, it's not about what you didn't, it's not about what you did get, it's about what you didn't get. I've already got that. Now I've got that in you. Now I'm trying to get something different from you, which will then complete the picture. That's what we are often doing. And that is what the Oedipal complex, in a roundabout way, can be seen as, or attachment styles, repeating patterns in relationship. That phrase, trying to get our needs met. How do we break that cycle? Well, like I said in another video, and like a lot of videos have been saying lately on the internet, is about working with a partner on your wounds and them helping you with that, and changing things and elevating the relationship to like the next levels, you know, leveling up the relationship, really trying to understand each other, really trying to work through without completely rescuing and changing, you know. It's moving past avoiding the trigger. It's actually, let's have those difficult conversations. Let's have those conversations about what my needs are in this relationship, what my boundaries are. And if you guys end up splitting up, because that's better, rather than being cruel to each other, like making demands that just can't be met. But it's not even about making demands or trying to fit square pegs into round holes. Sometimes it's better to separate, to avoid potential hurt and cruelty. Sometimes it does fit, it just needs a little bit of tweaking and adjusting, and then it will work. That's a very crude metaphor, but that's kind of where I'm at with it. So that's one way we can break this, and then it's also, and then it boils back down to, again, looking at self, journaling, self-reflecting, realizing what triggers are, what they're not, what your demands are, what your needs are, what your boundaries are, and then doing some soul searching and some actual work on that, going, why is it that I need that? It's probably because you didn't get it. But what would it bring me if I did get it? Do I actually need it? Chances are you might. Am I able to get it from this person? Is this person capable of giving it to me? Am I being unreasonable in expecting this person to give it to me? Can I give it to myself? That's leveling up again, if you like. That's, can I actually do this? Can I love myself the way I want to be loved by somebody else? Because if you can, and as cliche as it sounds, if you can, then somebody else will. But if you can't, it doesn't give much reason for anybody else to do that. Our environment tends to reflect us on many levels as well. I hope that's not too convoluted and too complex, and I hope it gives you a little bit of insight. And until the next time, please take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Adios.